How y'all doing tonight? Go ahead and come on in. I know I'm a little bit late tonight, but it's all right. It's Wednesday. It was a nice morning, but it became a yucky day, so I'm a little bit late, but it's all right. Y'all go ahead and stop scrolling and jump on in with us. Welcome to a Wednesday night, More Than a Pretty Face live talk show. I am your host, C Dub. I am happy to be here tonight. I will have a special guest joining me here momentarily. He had to come from another city, so we're just gonna pray that he makes it safe. But while we're waiting for him, we're just gonna talk about a couple things. So I'm gonna give you guys just a couple minutes to get on and join in the Wednesday live episode 6 with me. We're already season 3, episode 6. I don't know how we're here already, but we are already at the end of February. Spring is around the corner and the days are getting longer, so I'm super excited about that. I'm over winter just like everybody else. This cold weather, I'm just sick of it all. So I'm happy to be welcoming spring soon. We have, I believe the time change is next Sunday. So you guys get ready to adjust your clocks next weekend. Not this upcoming weekend, but a week, about 10 days from now, we will be changing our clock. So days are going to get a little bit longer for us. And we're just going to keep moving to the good weather. But I'm excited to be here tonight. I'm excited to bring my guest on, but we're going to talk about a couple things before he gets here. So CMV, of course, we're recording here live at Catch My Vibe Radio Studios. We are going to be traveling here in just a couple of weeks. And so I'm super excited to be a part of this trip. We're headed out to, brace yourselves, you guys. Before I say where we're going, if anybody's on with us that's not part of this trip, anybody want to take a guess where we're headed to? And here in just a few weeks, it's going to be Tuesday, March 18th is the event. But I'll give you guys a minute to guess where we're headed. But Catch My Vibe Radio has a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes. We got some traveling doing in March and April. So we're just confirming some things behind the scenes and packing our bags because we're ready to hit the road and take CMV up out of Michigan and just go network and meet people and have a good time. So, but yeah, we're heading out in just a few weeks. We're going to be heading over to Appleton, Wisconsin. If anybody knows where that is, I've never been there. I've never been to Wisconsin ever at all. It's about a 6.5 hour drive from here. I know we got to go down through Chicago, I believe, to get to where we're going. So just pray for us when we head out. We'll be talking about it a little bit more, but we're headed out to Finesse 2 Times concert, and a couple of our artists are going to be opening up for him. And so we're excited for our boy Chuck to be performing, as well as No Love. They're going to be performing at that show, and we're just super excited to be a part of that. So wish us luck as we head out. I think there's about 7 or 8 of us going. And so that's going to be an exciting trip. And again, a chance to get out and network and meet new people. So, we're going to be doing that very soon. Again, before my guest gets here, how is everybody doing tonight? How has everybody's weeks been? Mine has been a little bit hectic. This week has been, today we traveled up to Southfield for my daughter's cosmetology test. And so things today were just a little wild. I don't usually get on the highway at 7 o'clock in the morning, but nonetheless, we had a good trip and just continue to wish her luck on her cosmetology journey. I'm very proud of my daughter. As many of you know, she graduated in 2023 and she's just working towards getting her licensing so that she can get out in the field and start doing nails and really do what she loves. But I'm very proud of her and my other daughters. Of course, I'll brag about my kids till I can't brag anymore. But also over the weekend, I got to go visit my nephew and my niece and my great nephews. And so happy birthday to my great nephew, AJ, who is a big 7 today. I don't know how I have a great nephew that's 7. I actually have a great niece that's, I think, 15 this year. Like, I don't know how we got here because I don't feel like I'm that old to be happy. You're bouncing the table around. Can you stop? You bouncing my screen around, sir. Sorry, I got to get on my people in the studio. Look like I'm over here like. But anyways, I have great nieces and nephews now, you guys, that are teenagers. And that is just crazy as hell to me because I remember being little and having great aunts and uncles and great grandparents, right? And you always looked at them people as old people. And so I don't know if that's how my nieces and nephews see me, but I don't feel old, even though I'm, pushing up on 50 soon. But yeah, it's been a good week being around a bunch of great people. And so I've been in good spirits. Just really trying to stay busy, honestly, and really just focus on the things that I need to do as this year is going to be a lot of changes in store for our family. Again, as Lana heads out to California to continue her tattoo journey and expand her brand and do some things that she really has been wanting to do for many years in the tattoo industry. And so I'm excited for that, but it's just a lot of changes coming for us. Um, what else is going on around Jackson, you guys? With the weather breaking, I know we'll start seeing there's YPOP Gardens will be opening back up when spring hits. And so we got a lot of good volunteers in the community that are going to be, really out here pushing the things that are important for us to be able to continue to learn how to grow our own food and all of those sort of things. So continue to follow the community pages, pay attention to the things that are going on in our community, and do our best to always get out and support what is happening in our community, whether it's downtown, any type of events that we can get out and support. Let's make sure that we're, putting our feet into the community and really trying to make a difference as, we go into this new season and this new season of life. Some of us celebrate New Year's right on January 1st, but as I've gotten older and I realize that spring is really the beginning of life again. And so I feel like kind of March 1st is more the new year, more than it is January 1st. And so I feel like we're coming into what is the new year or the new beginning of life as we approach spring. That's when the green starts showing back up, the grass, regrows, the leaves regrow on the tree. And so that's a good time in our life to kind of reset ourselves out of that winter depression and the winter blues that many of us go through during these times of the months that we're a little more secluded in the house, away from people. It gets dark early, right? This gives us time to break away from that feeling and to be able to really focus on gaining positivity and being able to be back out in the sun, which is where I love to spend my time once that weather changes. And so I encourage you guys as the weather changes to get out and enjoy life a little more. My bestie already had her roller skates out yesterday, so shout out to her because it was still too cold for me, but she definitely was out there roller skating already, soaking up the sun that did grace us all yesterday. We had a beautiful pre-spring day yesterday, and so if you got time to get out and enjoy that, you probably felt a little better this morning when you woke up, because that just does something to our spirit to be able to get out in nature and really, absorb some fresh air versus being cooped up in the house for the last several months like most of us have been. So I'm looking forward to the weather change and the break and everything so that we can really get back out here and start enjoying some things a little bit differently. Thank you guys for being on here with me again. I'm still trying to get used to Wednesday nights. It's just a little bit different. It's kind of midweek. We're not quite to the weekend, but nonetheless, trying to focus and stay positive as we move forward into the weekend days. Anybody have anything exciting going on this weekend? I think I'm actually going to take a weekend and kind of relax a little bit. I've been working extra outside of my normal job. I've been, like I said last week, I've been door dashing a lot. And so I really need to take a break and chill out, even though I haven't been doing it as much this week. I'm really exhausted, and so I kind of need a reset. We'll see how the weekend goes. It's very tempting when you're sitting home and you're just kind of relaxing, and DoorDash is alerting you every 2 minutes that they're busy and there's money to be made. It's hard to just sit there and look at that alert. So we'll see what happens, but nonetheless, I'm gonna just go into the weekend with the best attitude that I can have, and just continue to look forward to spring that is right around the corner. Like I said, I don't know how we're already into March, but here we are 2 months into 2025. Things are are ever changing in the world. And so I just encourage you guys to pay attention to what's going on around us, to the different changes that are being invoked. Make sure that you're paying attention to real news and not just Facebook and TikTok news. I'm guilty of it. It's easy to go on those dives down social media, especially when it comes to the things that are happening around us. So I just encourage you to pay attention to real news sources. Get on the internet and look for our best real news sources that are still available to us right now. And just make sure that you're paying attention, right? We have to be aware of the things that are happening, not even locally, but just around us in general in our world, and make sure that we're making decisions to keep ourselves and our families as safe and protected as we can, as things are ever changing for us here in America. So I'm excited, you guys, to be bringing my guest when he gets here. I did have a chance to step out. This is somebody that you guys already know. Many of my viewers already know who this is. This is somebody we collabed with last summer when we did the Sidewalk Chalk event. I wanted to bring some good vibes to the show, and so we brought big man Genesis Terrell down from Power 96.5 in Lansing, and he will be joining me here tonight so that we can talk about what he does and how he got to where he is, and what it continues to inspire him to get out here and live the life that he does as a DJ and promoter. And so I cannot wait till he gets here so that we can have that conversation. But recapping some of the things from this season, or things that are going to be continuing to go on this season. Let's go back to season 2. I have not forgot about my Hometown Hero awards. I actually have 2 that I just need to award out still. And then we'll be getting back to the nominations for that and those awards being handed out. So I have not forgot about my Hometown Heroes. But of course, through the holidays, things get super busy. And so I just kind of paused it for a second. So Hometown Heroes will be back season 3. I don't know if it will be several this season or if I'm going to just kind of limit to a couple, but that will definitely be coming back this season. I also have my new merch line available. So if you guys have not seen that lately, or more recently rather, I have launched my Care with a Y, WHY merchandise line, and that goes along with just really having intentional care for people, making sure that we're keeping people around us safe, and that, when we show people love, there's a reason why we do it. And so that merchandise is available along with my other merchandise, and you can just tap in with me at any time if you would like to get custom made, or, certain colors that you're not seeing that I've advertised. I definitely can, get you guys the merchandise that you're looking for. So I'll be continuing to bring you merchandise. I have solidified a couple, actually I have several people coming on the show. I don't know, I have the dates lined up right now, but I definitely will be having Mr. Avion Johnson. If you're watching, that's a young man from Parkside. He's right here from Jackson County. He was on my show on season 2. He is a brilliant young man, really out here forging a way for the youth in our area, and really just taking a stand for what he believes is right in our community. And so he's going to be coming back to talk about the things that he's accomplished since last time he was on the show. I'll be having another artist out of Lansing come down. And so we're going to get her rescheduled. This is somebody that was going to be on the season at the beginning, and she had some health concerns come up, but we're going to get her scheduled to be back on the show. And then of course I have, who else? I have O'Shea coming back from Shay So Crazy podcast. I have Brandon Workman coming back from the Jackson Battlehawks. I have a band, I believe, coming on here in just a couple weeks. That I don't know if we're going to do that one as a live episode, so I'll be bringing details to you guys about that. Anytime that I go off my normal Wednesday schedule, I'd like to let you guys know ahead of time. So next week, I will probably have the date for that interview. I believe that one's going to be on a Sunday, so stay tuned for the information about that. Who else do I have coming on? God, I got a list of people set to come on. Oh, Tanika Smith will be coming on this season. She's got some business seminars coming up that we're going to talk about. And so I encourage my small business owners to tap into those shows. She will be on 2 times, I believe, end of March and mid-April. We'll have her on to talk about those events that are coming up. And so I'm excited to have her coming on. There's somebody else. I cannot think right now who I have booked, but I have my calendar pretty full. I don't know if we're going 18 episodes this season, but that leaves 12 more weeks of my face before we break the season. So we'll be into summer, just about by the time season 4 gets started. So a lot of exciting things coming up. Like I said, lots of traveling happening. We're heading out to Atlanta in April. We're going to be heading back to the Black Effect Podcast Festival, which we attended last year. That was the first big event, traveling event that I went on with CMV, and things look a little bit different this year, and we can talk about it for a couple minutes. Anybody that has been following me or knows the story about the trip to Atlanta, I laugh every time I talk about this because last year I was very, very adamant that I was not riding in a car to Atlanta last year. It is, I think, if you GPS it, I think it's about a 10.5 hour drive, but in reality, obviously, you got to, add in your stops. So it's about a 12 to 13 hour drive to Atlanta. Right. And so I was like, ain't no way I'm going to get in the car as the 5th person mushed in the back seat for 13 hours. Like my body can't take it, y'all. I'm not young anymore. Right. As much as I would like to think I am, I'm not young anymore. And so I jumped on a plane and was in Atlanta an hour and a half, right? And everybody cracked jokes. I got talked about. I was bougie. I was all kind of everything, right? And then when everyone was coming back, of course, I was home chilling. They were still driving. I kind of felt bad coming back. I felt bad on the way back. Like, dang, I am home and everybody's still in the car, right? But this year, y'all, and I know some of y'all are going to be like, girl, it ain't that serious. It is. I'm not getting on a plane right now. I just can't reduce my anxiety level enough to say it's okay to get on a plane in April. Like it's just not sitting in my spirit well. So it looks like I'll be driving to Atlanta this year, but I will not be the 5th passenger mushed in the backseat of a car. I will be driving with passengers. So I'm looking forward to that. Last year they had so many different people that came and spoke, and they talked about their different podcasts. And obviously, you're in Atlanta, so you see a lot of different celebrities. So we had a lot of just moments of opportunity to really engage and have conversations with people that are willing to give you advice for what you're doing. And the biggest message, or one of the biggest takeaways from last year, was T.I., when he got up and talked, he just was powerful about everything that he said. And he just encouraged everybody in the building to just keep forging a way for themselves, right? Continue to keep going. Don't give up. Don't let people talk you out of your dream. If it feels right for you, keep going, right? And then also knowing your limits. Like certain things, we evolve in personal life, we evolve in business, right? Everything is always ever changing in life and everything. And if we go back to, let's just say 2022, or really 2023, a year and a half has passed since we're almost at a year and a half that I've been doing the podcast. Between the first podcast I was on and now obviously my own show. And things have changed so many times just on More Than a Pretty Face, right? I've upgraded my logo. I've changed the formatting of what my set looks like, right? There's so many things that you continue to change and grow and do differently as business evolves. But you also have to know when it's time to lay something down. And when I first started, before I was doing podcasting at all, I was really into my arts and crafts business, and I was really focused on hand making stuff and trying to make unique items, right? And I was enjoying it. I was having a good time doing it. I was making money. I was selling stuff. but that's just not where I'm at anymore. And so some of the things that I was doing at the time, mirrors, different resin things, roach clips, right? I was making all kinds of stuff, jewelry. You don't really see me doing any of those things anymore. And that's why you don't see me advertising them, because I've moved on to do other things. I've kind of turned off into my brand and really focusing on what More Than a Pretty Face is, and having my merch line, and really expanding the podcast and meeting and networking with people, and really going a different way than what I was originally doing. And so in life, business changes things, but the thing that you have to realize is to just keep going. And that's one of the things that I took away from the podcast festival last year, was that we just haven't stopped. And I've said this a couple times. Everything isn't for social media, and just because you don't see people working doesn't mean they're not. And that isn't just for us, that's a message for business, people in their personal life. Social media is a tool to be able to help you build and expand on what you're doing. But keep in mind, everything doesn't have to go on social media, even when it pertains to business, even when it pertains to growth of your business. Every single move you make does not have to be talked about on social media. Sometimes the silent moves are the bigger moves. And so those were some of the takeaways that I got from last year when we were in Atlanta, is just to keep going, make sure I'm being authentic in what I'm doing, and always to continue to make sure that what I believe is always prevalent when I'm sitting on this couch. Anybody that I bring to my couch is open to have whatever conversation they need to have while they're here with me. And that is something that I will always continue to do on this show. When people reach out to me and they want to come on, we have a very simple conversation about what they want to talk about. And then everything you guys see here is happening in real time. I don't have these conversations before we sit down. I don't pre-interview people. I don't do that, because I want this to be an authentic space for people. With all of that, we're going to go ahead and pivot this show right on to the next part of the evening. Our guest has safely made it to town, and I'm so excited to have him here. And so we're going to bring one of our homies to the couch. This is one of my favorite people that I follow in the social media world. So y'all, welcome to my couch here at More Than a Pretty Face Live Talk Show, Genesis Terrell from Power 96.5 and Lansing, the king of kickback karaoke, to the couch. Yes, sir.
I'm just walking through. What's up,
yes, sir. Come on to the couch. Come on to the couch. How are you doing?
Angle? There's my angle.
There's your, yep.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Well,
okay.
We're up here, but this is so I can see
I
comments. So, yep. Make sure you're in the right place, sir. How are you doing? You made it safe?
I'm good.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to
you
see
know
you.
what? I can I go live here or no?
You can go live or share the live, whatever works for you. Don't matter to me.
My leg about to catch on fire right
Oh yeah, you can turn that off. Go ahead and turn it off.
Get turned off because I'm good with the heat.
You said no.
I'm old. I gotta have the heat.
Look, I said I don't know if he gonna want that heat all extra on him or not.
No, it's good.
I'm happy to have you here, sir. So thank you for traveling down to the good old Jacktown to visit us. We're gonna let him get his live situated, you guys, so we can get this episode going. Enough of me talking tonight. Y'all know I'm the certified yapper at Jackson, so I can sit here and talk to y'all for an hour and a half. Yapper. Yes, sir. Listen, I used to go 90 minutes with no guests on my couch.
I'm get mine situated.
When I tell you I can talk a lot, I can talk a lot.
It's all good. It's all good. I one time when I was in middle school, elementary or something like that, I got in trouble for talking.
I always got in trouble for talking.
The teacher was like, I hope you get paid to talk one day.
Man. Yes, sir. Amen. Paid off.
I guess so.
It definitely paid off.
So, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm trying to.
You are right. You are right.
Because I told people, where should I'm gonna tag you? What else should I be tagging?
You can tag Catch My Vibe, More Than a Pretty Face live talk show.
Yeah. We in here, man.
Yes, sir.
Come on. Should come up.
Oh. So Facebook weird. Sometimes you got to type out the whole.
There we go.
And then it'll jump to the top of your list.
Yeah.
How was your trip down?
It was
Drive
cool.
Was all right.
I've taken that run a lot.
Same.
And, it's just kind of one of those things to More Than Pretty Face.
Yep, live talk show. Live,
When
we
you were
live.
saying more than a pretty face, I thought you was telling them that I was more than a pretty face. I was like,
Well, I mean,
yes.
you are. That's
Big
why you're
Leo
here.
energy. She gets it.
Not the big Leo energy.
Come on, man.
Leo and Gemini on the couch. Y'all in for it tonight.
King Leo. It starts on my birthday, July 23rd.
Oh, shoot.
It
Yeah,
starts
you're
with
right.
me.
So you Cancer Leo.
No.
No, we don't do that.
Listen, there's a. All right, now.
He said, no, we're not doing that.
Oh, there it is. Now they want to pull it up.
I told you. Sometimes you got to type that whole thing out.
Well, I did, but
yeah, Jay, come watch the show. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate you. All y'all tap in. Y'all jump in the comments if y'all have anything y'all want to ask me or Genesis. We are, he said, now this is what, going back to what I was just saying. He posted earlier and said it's an open book conversation tonight. And listen, that is one thing. He's not the first person that said that. And so now I can just finally say that people are comfortable coming here and having conversations with me. And I love that and appreciate it. I try to make people as comfortable as I would if I was out in public with you. Because this is just this is like home when I come in here and have a seat on this couch. It's just like being at home and kicking it with people. So that's how I like to bring my show to you guys. Like I said, is an authentic, really just real conversation. So if y'all got anything deep y'all want to ask, tonight's your night. You have open conversation with us. And we will let y'all know what y'all want to know. So definitely tap in the comments and let us know what you guys want to know. You situated?
Yeah,
yes,
I had
sir.
My leg was getting grilled. Hold on.
Oh, so you want,
but I don't want it to be moved. It's good right there.
That's good. Okay, you good?
It's good right there.
You straight?
Yep.
All right.
I'm live with it, man. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm a little hyped up. I ain't even got to I did have Monster.
I would say, do you want to sit right here?
Oh, yeah, we could do
maybe prop it up better, maybe.
Well, I don't know, because I'm texting somebody right now.
Oh, okay. You are right.
That's the text I was like. See? I'm live now.
Yeah, you're live, sir. You're
Hello,
yeah, we're
everybody.
live.
These glasses are not prescription. I just never get a chance to wear them. So they Tom Ford. So I was like, let me throw them boys on. Now I'm gonna take them off. They were a gift.
This is what you get when you get Leos on the couch. No, this is big Leo energy, okay?
Big Leo energy.
Big Leo energy.
Look, I'm gonna put it right there. See what I'm gonna
listen. Whatever you got, there you go.
They're gonna be like, he was on a perk. No, I'm not. I'm chilling. We good. That's not gonna work. Okay.
All right, we good.
Just hold
we good. Okay, do what you gotta do.
Just hold it.
All right.
Yep, we live too. So Carrie, welcome to the Karaoke Kickback Big Man Genesis takeover.
Oh, you're gonna come take over my couch?
I'm taking
over.
Oh
shit, okay.
And now I'm handing it over to you. You got it.
I didn't know I was getting took over on my own couch, but hey, I'm here for the energy. Listen, like I said when he walked in, y'all, this is somebody that I have followed and paid attention to what he's been doing for longer than I've actually got to know him in real life. So your inspiration, your energy is just awesome when you get out here. So we're going to kind of rewind things and talk about like what got you started. I know you just celebrated 3-year anniversary with Power 96.5.
Did that.
And so prior to that, because I don't know your story, because I'm not the stalker of social media, so I don't go back and explore what people were doing prior to me knowing them. So what were you doing before Power 96.5?
How far back you want to go?
Dang, so 3 years. Let's just say like in your 30s, what were you doing?
30s.
Because you started Power 96.5 at 40-ish. How old are you? You're close to my age.
43.
Yeah, so 40.
43.
So 40 you started.
So
yeah, so let's talk about your 30s and what led up to Power 96.5. Because you had to be involved in music, I assume, prior to that.
We gotta go back to that.
Okay.
Go back. We'll
so let's go all the way.
We'll fast forward through the story, but we'll go all the way back.
Okay. All right.
The year was 1986 of our Lord and Savior. And no, but seriously, like I remember, I mean, I really have to go back. Like, so.
Okay. Go all the way back, wherever we need to go. So we're going back to the 80s.
Yeah.
Okay.
1986. I believe I had slap bracelets and biker shorts.
Okay.
Yeah, it was around the time and some Reebok pumps.
All right.
Down the bottom.
The for real ones.
Yeah, the real ones.
Okay.
The vintage for real one. I wish I had a pair now.
No, for real. Some boys would be worth something.
1986. My mom is a singer. She's always been a great singer. And she, would be singing around the house, and I'd be like, man, she really sounds good. And I spent a lot of time living with my grandparents. We both did And my aunts and uncles and my mom are probably the biggest music influences, not the people that I've been able to meet and work with, but those people in my inner circle. And so we would my grandmother always would be like, "Oh, you're gonna be able to sing like your mom." And I was like, "Hopefully, you know." But I think my mom's, like I said, my mom's she's a great singer. I'm okay, but she's a really good singer. And so I would be singing into little deodorant bottles when I was a kid, and playing radio, which obviously that kind of paid
off, right?
I was scratching up records. My uncles were pretty pissed, and my aunt Heather, who was kind of like my sister, we only a couple years apart, but she's probably, when I say like musically, aside from the singing, every ounce of musical influence, and I don't shout her out like this, but every ounce of musical influence, from my taste in music to just knowing the various artists that I'm familiar with and everything that I ever wanted to do, I would say comes from Heather. So shout out to you. You probably watch this or not, whatever, dog. So shout out to you for that. So my love for music organically came from that being what we had. We weren't rich, you know, we didn't have a lot. My grandparents were working class people, but the one thing that I always knew would never let me down was music.
Mm-hmm.
And so, with that being said, I always knew there was something that I was going to do in the space of working in the music industry. So, just like a lot of other kids, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be a rapper. I'm gonna be a singer. I'm gonna have a record label. You know, all these. I'm gonna produce artists. I'm gonna manage artists." And I've over time done all of those things. Some successful and some to the point of where I was like, you know what? I hate everybody.
Right.
Because I mean, if you love music, just like anything else, when you do it so much, or when you're connected so much, it almost becomes a love-hate thing. Because there are days where I do an event and I don't want to hear anything in the car.
I believe it.
Nothing. I don't want to hear. Don't hum. Don't sing.
I don't want to hear a notification. Nothing.
Nothing. And because of the way my mind works, I hear music and everything. Like right now with these heaters, I hear bass lines. I don't really hear the heat. I hear the hum, but right. they're bass lines.
Right.
And it's like right here. It's like two bass players sitting next to me. And so that's kind of how my life has always been, man. And so like fast forward just a little bit, because when I started off, it was more cool for boys, well, so I thought, to rap. Right. Well, one day in 6th grade, I was messing around, and these girls were like, "Oh, we bet you can sing," because they knew my mom should sing too. And they were like, "You should sing something." I was just playing around and I did it. And yeah, I sounded pretty good. And what happened was those girls went and got other girls, and I was like, "Oh. Okay. Yep. I see. My rapper ambitions are over. I am now a singer." And so I started singing in the church choir. You know, I got a little better with it, just like a lot of other people. You know, you start singing at church and doing that sort of thing. And as time went on, I started hosting events. And I said, man, you know, when I get a little money, I'm going to eventually open up a record label. And so I think I was like 17 or 18, and I didn't mean to do that. I was 17 or 18, and I was like, oh, I don't have a lot of money, but I bought like a 4-track recorder. Shout out Tascam. It was my first. So actually, 3M reel to reel. To go back in the story, my aunt Heather had bought me a 3M reel to reel from the thrift store. And it had these old reels in it. And I was like, well, I'm going to learn this because this is what I have. And I was like, this is low key like Motown Records, because the Temptations movie had came out by the time I was in high school. So I'm like, man, I got these reel to reels. And I was like, okay, I'm going to learn how to multi-track with this. So we had this, everybody had the big stereo in the living room. And I was like, well, if I do these RCA outs into the big stereo, I can multi-track and overdub. And then if I adjust the levels a certain way, you won't hear that old school hiss. I was really studying this. I really was. I was like, this is what
Them
I
old
have.
school stereos he's talking about, where you had to lift up the
Yeah.
plastic top to put the records on. That thing stood
Yeah.
about this tall.
Yeah.
For real, for real.
And then it had like 100 EQ levels
Mhm.
on it. I didn't really understand what they all did, but I was excited about that process. And so I was telling people like, yeah, I'm gonna sign you to my I'm gonna sign you to my label. And you know, with no formal training, like I went to a performing arts high school too, but I used to go to the library and read books about copyright and publishing and looking up how you start a record label. Where are the record label phone numbers? Like I felt like I just needed to know.
Right.
You know, 'cause I was like, nobody's gonna teach me this stuff.
Hmm.
So I gotta go find it myself.
Mhm.
You know, I started trying to tell people in school, like, I'm gonna give you $100 signing bonus. And it ain't a lot of money. You're gonna come over to my house and you're gonna record this music. And I was like Suge Knight Jr. You come record this music. I'm gonna give you. I found this place called AV Duplications. It was down the street from my house, and they printed cassettes, and they printed the white label. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna make these covers for people. And just going back in this story is so funny thinking about, you know, that whole time frame.
What was the name of your record label going to be? Because I know you had one.
Well, you know, I did have one, and it was crazy because going back to middle school, I told these two girls, shout out to them. I love them to this day. They my people. It was Leslie Hill and Elizabeth Collins, and I was like, I'm gonna take y'all's last name and make my label. You know, I was crushing on one. The other one was just my friend that I might have been crushing on a little bit. But, you know, we grown now. So I combined their last name. It was Khalil Music. So I was like, I'll make that. So anyway.
I just had to know. I
It
knew
was-
there,
I mean, it
I
really
knew there
was
was
a
a
thing.
story to
Yeah.
it. So
It really was a thing. And so, you know, I was trying to sign people. I was like, come to my house. You're going to record. We're going to make beats. I got this DJX Yamaha keyboard. Couldn't tell me nothing about it. It was like, I'm like, bro, I paid $500 for this thing, you know. And
that was a lot of money back
it was.
then.
It was.
It really
I was
was.
recording them, and like you get 50 tapes. You go sell these. Then when I get my $100 back, then you start making money on the next batch. Like I knew I had the concept,
Right, you
but
knew
I really didn't.
Right. You didn't have the training for it, but you was willing to figure it out, though.
I really didn't. Yeah, I really didn't have like, you know, all the ideas. And I remember like I was taking like hangers and pantyhose for my pop screen. I'm like, man, I don't know where you get one of those from, but this is gonna have to work. So I had people at the crib. My mom be at work. She didn't know. Hey, mom, she watching now. Sorry,
It's all good.
Yeah,
it worked out in the end.
It worked out.
Yeah, it worked out in the end.
And so, you know, just to fast forward, man, I participated in a lot of different things and trying to host and just trying to make things shake and believing in people that were like, I don't even really believe in this myself, but this guy believes in me.
Right.
You know, and that was what I used to try to instill in the people I worked with. And what you'll learn is like most of the people that say they want to do this, they like the idea of it. They don't want to do the work.
Yeah. It's a lot of hard work.
They don't want to take what comes along with it. And so going further in the story, I had an opportunity to work with a really amazing gospel group, somewhat in the management and A&R space. And their first run at success really is what showed me, maybe you do know what you're talking about. You know, because it's all trial and error.
Right.
So you're like, I don't know, is this just BS in my head that I'm saying,
Right.
or is this really what I've studied and what I've learned? And so they got nominated. No, I'll tell you what it was. We got an email from Billboard, and the leader of the group called me. He was like, "Hey man, we got this email from Billboard that our song is going to chart." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't made it."
Literally.
Because I told them how to do that. Like I told them how to,
Right.
you know, get it to that point, and then we learned how to track sales and kind of, you know, we learned the business a little
Right.
more. And then they got nominated for a really huge gospel award. What's up, girl? They got nominated for a huge gospel award and charted on Billboard multiple times, and then that really put me in a place of saying, you know what, maybe I'm right.
Right.
This music thing is it. And then skipping around a little bit, I started working as the arts and entertainment coordinator for the Chamber of Commerce in Albion, Calhoun County area, and kind of start working with America's Got Talent for a few years. And that was cool. That was a great experience. They reached out to me like, hey, we see this. I was doing a teen talent showcase.
We need more of that
in Albion. Oh, and coincidentally, shout out to Queen Naija and Chris Sales. She was my first co-host, first and second. She did it first and second year with me. And then Chris was a judge for the showcase. So they even got their start. You know, I can't take credit for what they've gotten to, but just to be like, well, you know, we were in the same equation and working together and being influential and doing whatever. But like they've gone on to gold and platinum status. And just to say, you know, I was a part of the journey is a lot for me and even other groups. But after that, I started hosting a segment called Industry Spotlight on WFPM radio out in Battle Creek. It was a gospel radio station. And I was like, okay, this is not the radio I imagined when I was a kid.
Right.
I got away from that and then jumping to, I don't know, 9 years later, I had a friend that worked at 96.5 and she called me like, hey, you ever thought about doing overnights in radio? And I was like newly married. So I was like, absolutely not. I want to be at home.
Right.
We'll get there in a minute.
We'll get to that part, y'all.
Man. So that same friend, a couple years later, was like, hey, there's another opportunity if you want to do it. I was like, yeah. I jumped in there part-time. And, you know, big Leo energy. I didn't step up to bat to, you know, as a baseball player, right? So I didn't step up to bat just to get to first base. I was like, we're gonna, I'm bringing everybody in and I'm coming home too. So I say that to say my goal was never to just work as a part-time employee.
Right.
It never, like 4 hours a week, bro, I got other stuff to do. I'm not just gonna work 4 hours. And so
it would be nice to only have to work that, but it's not reality.
Absolutely. So in a 6-month period, because I was kind of in the self-employed space, Banner King, shout out Banner King. It's my other business, but I was in the self-employed space, so I had more availability than a lot of other people. And so when people were calling off work, they would call me like, oh, you feeling? Yes. I need to get those reps in.
Right.
Get those reps in. You need to see me around this station because I'm going to be here.
Right.
The guy who was the promotions director before me, and the full-time 2 to 6 on air, his name is KC. And he told me, you're going to be up next. I was like, whatever. Like, okay. And then they called me and was like, Casey's going to resign. Are you interested in this? And I was like, he was right.
Right.
So I went in, you know, they still made me do the interview.
Gotta love that.
Of course, you know, they made me do the interview. And I was like, you know, here's what I bring to the table. Because I didn't show my full hand as a part-time employee.
Right.
And so they didn't really know that I did the graphic design and marketing stuff and had relationships with a lot of people, record labels and whatnot to kind of do some things. And here we are 3 years later, and it is probably, you know, it's bad saying this, I guess, but it is probably the only job as an adult in the full-time space where I really felt like I wasn't ready to quit every day.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because there were a lot, I've had some amazing positions, but most of them were like, I wake up in the morning like, God, I hope they call me and just tell me the building blew up.
I feel it. We've all been there. We've all had those jobs. Literally.
So we took the long route, but you know, it all started from me playing radio as a kid, scratching up records and trying to, you know.
I mean, listen, it's a good story though.
It is a
because
good story.
In reality,
and I did it with no cussing. That was good. And no drinks.
I mean, hey, That I guess you on track then, huh? Chuck said you a true player for real. So you know,
Hey,
twin on here
twin,
watching,
what's
you know.
up, my boy?
But in reality, when you think about true happiness when it comes to your career, right? And this is something that is very visible with a person like you, is that you do absolutely love what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so when you can find something that you love and turn it into money, you can be happily successful and keep
Yeah, for sure.
going and be motivated to continue to grow and build and continue to move in that space, which everyone doesn't find that, right? When you said we took the long road, I was thinking you was about to say it took a longer, like I thought you were referencing age. I would say don't do that tonight. We're not talking about age tonight, because it never too, y'all know how I feel about this. It ain't, you never too old to do whatever you love in life or start it. But so it, I mean, for it to come full circle though, just makes sense, right? For someone to truly just love through and through just music, and it's just kind of been embedded into you, it sounds like, since you was a little bitty kid.
True story.
Friday night, we'll talk about Friday a little bit and then we'll go back to some questions. I've been to several karaoke events that Genesis hosts, and they're all amazing. And the thing that is just funny to me, and this is just such a difference between just Jackson and Lansing, right? The karaoke in Lansing is not the karaoke in Jackson, just so everybody is clear. It is not the same, right? When you go to karaoke here, I'm not trying to be funny, but the karaoke that is in Jackson that people actually attend, it's like older white people, like that's the environment, you know what I mean? And then you get to Lansing and you got these great R&B singers and these people that really come to sing. And it's almost like you're at this concert of people that are just like on the verge of making it. And some of them already have. I mean, there's been some singers that are but it's a good environment. So if you guys haven't made it to any of he hosts plenty of them. They're going on all the time. If you haven't made it to one, I encourage you guys to go follow his page and make it to one or more of the events, because it is, especially for people here. If you're, you know, in the Jackson area, we just don't have events like that down here. It's, I don't know if it's not a college city, so we don't have the right age group of people to come out and do those kind of events. But I hope to have Kickback Karaoke in Jackson sooner than later. And I know that me and you have talked about that already, because we definitely want to bring that vibe here. There is people like me that would love to be there. And I know there's some singers in Jackson that could come out here and really kill it too. So, but they're great events.
Thank you. Thank you. There. Just to kind of go back to something you just said. The way that Karaoke Kickback even started, my friends and I will tell this story forever. My friends and I used to go to another place in Lansing for karaoke. And you said the karaoke in Lansing is nothing like the one in Jackson. Well, I want to let you know, karaoke in Lansing is nothing like Karaoke Kickback either. And that's not a dig.
Right.
Because I'm friends with most of the people that host the other karaoke's. But, you know, we sat through a lot of songs that it's fine. We just didn't want to hear them. And I was like, man, this is not a thing for us. And I didn't mean us as in black. I meant us as in fans of hip hop and R&B or soul music or even gospel music. You never know what you're going to get.
No, at karaoke, you never know.
So I said, man, we can do this. And so I practiced with some other friends. They didn't know I was practicing what I was doing. It was a test run at their house with them. And then another group of friends, I was like, man, there's a place called Urban Beat. And this guy, he asked me if I'd be interested in doing an event there. And I was like, I think it's going to be this karaoke thing. And the first time, it was like 10 people. I'll be generous. It was 10 people there. And I was like, okay, this is not.
It's not it.
It's not
That's
working.
how you feel initially.
Yeah, it's not working. So we made some changes. And I had to go away from charging for it and make it free for a few times, you know, using some
marketing.
Good
marketing skills. Good marketing skills.
Making it free, you know, give a little sample of the product. And then they were like, oh, this is not your typical
Karaoke, yeah.
Because there were other people in the city that had even told me, man, ain't nobody paying to come to your karaoke. And I was like, that's because you haven't been.
Right.
You don't know.
Right.
And one of my friends, I ain't gonna say his name because we cool, we been cool, but he was like, man, I was hating. I was telling everybody, that's dumb. Why would you pay to go to karaoke? And I was like, well, you know, it's not what you think it is. And, you know, in 3 years, we have built it to be something beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
To look at our smallest crowd of 10 to our biggest crowd of 1,800, crazy.
Yeah. In 3 years, that's huge. That's I mean, listen, I'm new to this events thing. Like I kind of came over to CMV as an events coordinator, like it was like a happenstance circumstance, you know, I just kind of slid on in. And so I'm very new to it, but events are a lot of work. And no matter how many you do, I believe that it probably doesn't ever get easier. It just gets more routine.
Absolutely.
But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of like, you got to continue to build your own brand. You got to continue to be authentic in your spaces, which he is, right? When you go to his events, he's just like he's sitting on this couch. He'd kick it with you. Just, you know, the conversations are normal. And this is more my ignorance. I didn't know you could sing that good. And so I was I don't think you sang at the last karaoke event that I went to at Urban Beat, though. I don't feel like you sang that night for some reason. So I was like, let me video. I was like, I guess I didn't like, I knew you could sing, right? Because people that host karaoke, now listen, I've hosted karaoke. I can't sing a damn lick, and I don't even act like I can. But I knew you could sing, but I didn't realize like you really held like you was singing the song. I was like, okay, sir, you up here singing, you know what I'm saying? So but even the like having a live band come in, right? Having a live band with karaoke was just dope to me. You don't see that a lot. You just don't see that and people that don't necessarily know how to sing the greatest, a band can kind of build that up and just push them, right? And the people that sung Friday night were amazing. Like I wanted to stay longer, but you know, coming from out of town, I'm like, probably better get home early. But I'll be back. I mean, I'll still come because I've came by myself and it's just a vibe, even when you're alone.
Yeah.
Like I was like, the first time I came to the one in Urban Beat, it was when IMYP was one of the guests.
Yeah.
So that's probably the first one I went to.
What's up?
Listen, Big Leo energy.
I know.
Big Leo energy. That's another Leo that's been here. But that was that was the first event, and I came to that event by myself, and I was like, dang, I was having anxiety. Like, I don't know how to walk into a place by myself. Like, I wasn't really doing that at that time. I was like, man, just go. And I sat up at the little edge of the bar thing over there, and I just sat and kicked it the whole night. Like I had a good time that night, and ever since then, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna keep going back to the events because they're just fun. Outside of kickback karaoke, though, I feel like you host a million different types of events, maybe. So outside of kickback karaoke, what are some of your
Big Leo energy is karaoke kickback?
Karaoke kickback, just
like your name,
karaoke kickback. My bad.
Know what? But everybody does that. Because it's so many people.
It is karaoke kickback, but my bad. Let me get it right.
I'm just talking trash.
I'm gonna let you talk shit. Since it's karaoke kickback takeover on my couch.
Registered trademark as well. Tell you about that one.
Oh shoot! Okay, Chuck, we see you. Big Pisces energy coming through on Friday. Okay, we see you, twin.
Okay.
But outside of the karaoke, what are some of your favorite type of events to host?
Man, so currently my favorite. Well, I won't say my karaoke kickback is always going to be my favorite. That's my baby. That's
That's you.
But my second favorite is going to be R&B bingo.
Yeah.
We do that in Lansing on Tuesday nights at the Comfort Zone Cigar Lounge. It's a whole vibe, man. You know,
do you have to play bingo if you come? Or you can just come enjoy yourself?
Nah, you can just come and chill.
Like, I want to play bingo, but I'm not ready yet, but I want to come.
Yeah,
so I'm like, hey, do you gotta play bingo if you go, or can you just
come and get drinks, come get food, we run through the line dances, play the music and whatnot.
Listen, I can't line dance. I really want to learn the damn dances, and like that was like I was sitting there Friday, like I can't even dance because I can't do none of these dances, and they're all so good at it.
Yeah.
He brought what's DJ? Is
E
he
Nice?
nice?
Yeah.
He was in the Foundry Saturday night,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
said he
yeah.
played a couple
Shout
of
out
them
my boy
songs, but
E
they
Nice.
wasn't getting it in Jackson like they was in Lansing. They
Yeah.
just don't do the dances the same. Damn it! Y'all need to bring the Lansing
I'm
energy down.
gonna be down here with him for his birthday, March 8th. So we outside at the
Oh,
Foundry
okay.
March 8th.
All right, y'all.
And I
Next
got-
weekend.
Got Jay Holiday and Flint as well on March 8th. So I'm gonna be doubling it up, moving it around.
Oh yeah, that's a
all weekend.
Flint to Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah,
alright.
you like to hit the highway though.
I do.
Listen, y'all, I keep telling
do.
him. I tell him every time I see him. Listen, if I get to a point I can get rid of my day job, I'm gonna be moving just like that. I need to
Hey.
be. You know what I'm saying? I want to be out hosting and moving and running too.
Yeah. And I still do it with a day job.
I know.
so
Listen,
I'm tired
my day job is I work from home, so I'm very blessed in my space.
Oh,
I work from home, so I
yeah.
have a great job. I absolutely love it. But if ever I get to a point I can walk away, I will definitely do it. My boss knows it. I love her to death, but I don't want to work a 9 to 5 the rest of my life.
So yeah, I said music bingo.
Music bingo.
That's my new favorite thing. But I actually did music bingo before karaoke. I used to work with another company, so I did all the bars downtown Lansing, like Moriarty's. No. Tin Can, Moriarty's, Stober's, Crunchy's, Nut House. You know, I did music bingo back at these places, and so people come up to me, they're like, "Oh, you're still around?"
Yeah,
You know,
I'm
'cause this is
still
like
here.
2015.
Right.
I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, I'm still here.
of course. You know, we planted that flag. I've been in Lansing. It's 10 years. This is going on 11 years that I've been in Lansing, and I've enjoyed it. You know, I've enjoyed it. There were ups and downs. You know, when I moved to Lansing, I was married, and
Oh yeah, you said you was gonna get into that. I kind of let you brush back past it, but since you brought it back up,
I'm not gonna say too much because one time I was on. This is the beginning of me saying too much. I'm a Leo.
Listen, you're
time,
on the right couch, sir. Go ahead.
No, one time I was on a podcast and I told my truth.
You have a right to.
And I was reading these Facebook statuses about myself and the way I am. You know, I'm an only child technically, man, and so I'm like, I was entertained. Like me and my cousin was laughing about the statuses because I'm like, maybe that's true, but I don't. Whatever.
I mean, listen, we've all had bad marriages, you know, so it's all right. It happens.
I'm not even gonna say I had a bad. I didn't have a. Nope.
He said not doing it.
Nope. I didn't have a bad marriage. I really didn't. You know, it was fine until it wasn't.
Right.
That's the best way to put it.
I get it.
And I believe that I am much happier now. I don't know what you got going on, but I am much happier now.
He's assuming she's watching, y'all.
No,
I'm just talking.
Never gonna watch. No,
listen, I tell people this all the time. Listen, some situations can be great until they're just not. And then when you know, you just leave, right? Sometimes it just takes the mentality to realize that it's just not working for you anymore.
Absolutely.
And that's in anything. That's business, personal, all that. Friendships, sometimes it just ain't working no more. You know what I'm saying? Some people frown on growth, but in order to get anywhere in life, we got to continue to evolve. So I don't know why people frown on that. But
I wish her and whoever and whatever the absolute very best. Because the one thing that I'm not gonna do is I'm not gonna put myself in a position to where I'm stressing over something that I could care less about. I'm having a great time.
You're having a time of your life, aren't you? Yes, sir.
Man.
I feel it. I feel it. No, I mean, same thing. I was the same way. It's like, you know what? Once it's, I mean, I don't have no ill will. I don't move like that because I want positive stuff in my life. So I don't wish no ill will.
I was on the beach when we were we got divorced during the pandemic, and so you know everything was like Zoom. Right. I was at the beach.
I'm like, is he really about to say he got divorced at the beach? And you really are saying
I was at the beach. Like I had my tablet because I had to be on with the what do they call it?
The Zoom meeting?
Yeah, with the Zoom
with
meeting,
the judge.
With the I was at the beach.
He said, "Listen."
In fact, I was in Hollywood, Florida, having a great time. Like, okay, let me hurry and turn this tablet off because
it's time to get back to the beach. That's an epic divorce story. Listen, that's epic. Not on the beach during COVID, but hey,
they was getting plane tickets was cheap too. They was getting flued out, man.
Listen. Okay, so we talk about planes. We'll get off topic. Okay. Are you scared to fly right now? Are you
Right now,
a little nervous? Not at all, because
Um,
I'm not flying right now. Like I talked about this before you got here. We're going to Atlanta in April, and like
Okay.
we're driving because
okay.
last year it was a no-go for me to be in the car for that many hours. This year I'm not getting on a plane. I'm terrified right now.
Well, no one should fly out of Atlanta. So flying into Atlanta, you'd be flying out of Atlanta.
Yeah, I did.
And Atlanta,
I did.
Hartsfield Jackson, the worst airport in the world.
Listen, I got lucky coming back only because the world is small and I do know some people in the world, right? So I know Mike Jeter, who's a comedian.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So okay,
yeah.
so I know Mike. So I'm at the airport. They drop me off. It's early as shit in the morning because I want to make sure I'm 100 hours early so I don't get lost or confused.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's a gentleman outside the airport. I won't bust him out here, but he was out there, you know, minding his business. And he's talking, and I'm like, God, this guy sounds like a voice I've heard. So I kept kind of like glancing up at him. Well, he must have caught me looking like, who is this lady keep looking at me, right? So he started talking, and he said something about being a comedian. And I said, well, then that's how I must know of you because of Mike Jeter. And he's like, oh yeah, Mike's my boy. Howie Bell out of Detroit.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Shout out Howie.
Listen, he was on the same flight with me, bro.
Okay.
I swear to God, this is how lucky I got. He was on the same flight. We sat outside. He walked with me through the airport, through TSA, all the way to the seat to get on the plane. So I had no worries because he travels, of course, everywhere.
Yeah, for sure.
So I got super lucky, so I didn't have to go through like that panic because they'll tell you I was freaking out. I jumped up and took an Uber at like, what time did I leave? It was like 4:30 in the morning, something. My flight was at like 8 o'clock. Like I was like, I got to get here hours early because I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, leaving the airport wasn't hard. I just had to get my bag and get outside. I got lost trying to get out of the airport though. I really did. I was like, listen, I done took 100 of these escalator things down and ain't no outside. How do you get outside? They had to redirect me to a train to get me outside because I was confused. So coming back was not, but I'm not flying this year.
I've missed a lot of flights out of Atlanta.
Have you?
Oh yeah, because they're terrible. Because like
it's
running, doing a 100-yard sprint every few feet. And,
the airport is just humongous.
And then you gotta get on their little train and hope that you know
get off at the right
side. But it's all in planning because you need to be there. You know, you gotta, if your flight is at 7, you might as well just be at the airport at 7 p.m. the night before.
Yeah. I mean, no, for real.
Like, man,
people were in there. It was because Florida was completely different. Like I went to Florida in January last year, and the airport, even though it's big down there, it was not. Where did we go? Where did I fly to in Florida? Tampa.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to Tampa.
Saying Orlando's the second worst.
Yeah, no, Tampa. It was Tampa. But yeah, I'm not getting on any planes right now. I'm really scared. Like I just,
I was watching a couple reels on Facebook, and one of them was talking about how people sit in the emergency row for extra leg room.
I'll shoot Benny Hanna on here. What up, fam?
What up, dog? How people sit in the emergency row for extra leg room, and I am guilty of it. And the guy was like, listen, if you're not finna save lives, don't lie and sit there. Because, you know, when you sit in the emergency row, they have you do this extra thing where you pretty much doing the blood oath almost, like, if people are trapped on the plane, I will help them before I help myself.
Don't ever put me in that seat. Man, I gotta go.
I remember on one flight, this dude leaned over and was like, hey, bro, I'm not helping nobody. Get out the way if something happens on this plane.
I know that's right.
I was like, I'm glad you understand because I'm not helping anyone.
Yeah, no, don't ever.
But now you got to take it serious, especially with all that's been happening.
Yeah, no, I'll just stay on the ground.
Shout out to Spirit for staying in the sky.
Yes, that's who I fly is Spirit. I really do. I'm still don't trust it right now. There's too much uncontrol happening, and I have
a flight planned, not too soon, but soon enough. But I'm just like, man, you know, because I hate to fly. I've never liked to fly, and I'm weird. Like I will watch a movie like La Bamba before I get on the plane, right? just because I'm like, it can't be any worse than that. So how would I have survived that? Like how, you know, like before I take cruises, historically I have watched Titanic the night before.
Like why?
I'm like, I don't know. It's just one of
So
my-
you can psych yourself out and say, well, it ain't gonna be that bad if something happens. Like, what's the dichotomy? What's your brain
'cause
function
I
doing
just,
to you?
maybe I'm just like trying to
That's
think.
like some serial killer like
No,
like come on, man.
don't, Carrie, don't. No,
Like,
it's
come
not.
on, man. Who watches a crashing ship when they're about to go get on a ship?
Okay, here's my logic. I watch it to
What
see,
the hell?
first off, how would I have survived? How would I have survived?
Well, I mean, a plane crash, we're probably not, but a cruise ship, depending on what happens, I mean, the ocean's big as hell, bro. It's gonna swallow it up if it really goes down.
yeah, but
Do you think you're gonna survive on one of their little life tube things?
yes, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I mean, let's be honest. Okay, everybody has seen Titanic, right?
Yeah.
All right. Check this out. Had Rose not been selfish and said, Jack, switch with me for 10 minutes so we both can live, they would have survived. Both.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So in my head, all right, me and a girl on the cruise, this happens. Babe, we're gonna have to switch. I'm not gonna be like Jack and be all chivalrous and stay about to freeze to death for 3 or 4 hours. I'm like, I know you cold too, but I'm about to freeze my balls off under this water. So maybe we could switch just 10 minutes. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I watch stuff like that.
Okay.
Let me look at what the people around are, because somebody gonna die.
It
You're
ain't
gonna have
be
to
you.
get off the raft. We need this. If you over here dead and frozen on the raft, you gotta go. That's why I watch Titanic. So I can be like, okay, how am I gonna survive?
I hope it never comes
No,
to
me
that.
either.
I mean, just hope it never comes to that, right?
Yeah, I mean that's a little far-fetched, but
I mean, listen, I've only went on one cruise.
oh, okay.
I have felt way different about the world we live in since I went on the cruise.
Mm.
But what I'll tell you is the ocean is really big. And
It
even
is.
though the cruise ships are like huge and it feels like you're kind of like on a city,
Yeah.
when you really look at the overall scale of it, like the cruise ship could disappear in the water real easily.
No lie.
Real easily.
I just went on a cruise in January, me and my bro, and we had a balcony suite,
Oh no.
and so it was late at night when we got back. I think I went back to the room before he did, and I stepped out on the balcony, and I was like, man, it's pitch black.
Yeah.
If I fall, it's over.
It's over.
So I
No,
was
for
like,
real.
you know how you have to try to play it off like you ain't scared.
Yeah.
I was like, let me step back in this room, man. I don't need to be
Yeah,
out
because
here.
just think like you don't
I
really
was
feel
shook.
the waves on a cruise ship like that, but just think one good whoosh,
That's all it
and
takes.
you over that. Yeah. And I mean, people realistically, somebody just fell off a cruise ship just recently.
Man,
Like, I don't
listen.
know how that happens because I'm not getting that close to the edge, but like imagine falling in the middle of the ocean. Like you're done for.
It's
It's
a
a wrap.
I
Like
can't swim either. Oh man.
listen, and
That's over.
there's whales out there that are big as this damn building. I'm straight. They finna
Man.
eat you. You can be Jonah and the whale, okay? No, I don't got time for that. So I
That's
used to be
hilarious.
scared to go on a cruise ship though, but I finally was like at 40, I was like, girl, just do it.
I worked on
So I
one for a
did.
little while.
Did you?
actually. Yeah.
And that was
Long
probably a
time
fun
ago.
job.
No, it was a terrible job.
Was it?
Yeah.
Are they what made
It's
it ter-
different now.
Oh, so
It's
we're
different
talking
now.
like when we were
Yeah, it's different now. I felt like, the people in the bottom of Titanic, they were like, don't even try to save them. Like, that's kind of how it felt,
as a cruise ship worker.
Yeah.
That's wild as hell, bro.
Bunk beds. We in there, 4 deep.
Not crunched in the 4 bunks in the bottom of the ship.
Terrible.
Oh God.
Terrible.
All right, let's get a couple more questions out the way and let these people go. We didn't held them here all night. We got
It's
y'all
my fault.
hostage.
It's my
It's
fault.
all right. Okay, 2 things just because I want to know. What's your favorite genre of music? I could probably guess, but
Can you?
no, probably not.
What do you
Now
think
that
it
you
is?
say that, probably not. I don't know. Obvious would be R&B, but I would feel more
love
like soul
R&B.
would probably be closer to something that would-
I absolutely love gospel music. Heart, like it that's
born and bred in you.
Yeah, gospel music.
Listen, gospel. There's just something about gospel music that just does something to your spirit, though. There really is, and especially when the delivery is just really in tune with what they're saying. There is something about gospel music that'll just make your hair stand up on your arms.
I learned how to, not that they were faking or performing, but there is some sort of performance element to it. You know, I learned how to perform looking at people at my church when I was a kid. I was like, man, yo, there was this guy named John Tyus. He was the choir director when I was a kid, and he was just the coldest with the singing, how he held the mic and how he could engage with the crowd. And I remember one day he stood on the chair, and the ladies in the church looked like, you know, they were older, so they looked like they was at like a Jackie Wilson or Little Richard concert. Like, I was like, this John Tyus guy is is he like a church guy for real?
Right.
And then one of my old pastors, this guy named Bishop Roger Hairston, same energy, always. Like, I see myself doing some of their mannerisms. Like, there's this thing I do that I didn't even realize I got from people in church. And next time you see me, you'll be like, oh, that's what he's talking about. I do this mic flip thing where I like flip the mic, but I never it never really comes out of my hand. It's weird. But
anyway, I'm be paying attention to your hand every time.
Watch, you'll see it one time, and I just do it. But
it's
anyway,
just out of habit.
I would say gospel music, hip hop and R&B I'll put at a second spot. And then ironically, probably grunge and hair metal. I think that's one of the greatest. No, seriously. True story.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think Nirvana is
I think Nirvana is the greatest band of all time.
No, listen. That time frame when you're talking Nirvana, they had that music is iconic.
Yeah, but Poison, Aerosmith,
some of the newer stuff, but no, I agree with that. But that's not my go-to music. I can't take it. Like, that's not what I turn. I'm a more like, I listen to mainly R&B and hip hop, but I'm a country girl. I absolutely love country music. There's great country music, and some people are like, oh, it's so poppy. Like, all music has pop music in it. Like, there's some little bits of pop. Like, yes, country is pop music, but pop music is pop music. There's also country music that's just straight up twangy country music. Like, so yeah, there's a lot of country pop music, but like, I like the old school. I grew up on Ricky Skaggs.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I grew up on the for real old Charlie Daniels band, and so that's where my country roots come. I didn't grow up in the church.
Yeah.
I wasn't introduced really to gospel music until my ex-husband.
Really?
So, but then I fell in love with it, and I only listened to gospel for several years, and then, you know, I got back on these streets. You know what I'm saying? I do listen to gospel, but not like I used to. One more question. Most important thing that you've learned about yourself through this whole journey to Genesis Terrell today?
Oof.
We got to go deep at least for one question.
The most important thing I have learned is to trust myself. Because you can't, to trust myself and to support myself and always have my own back. Everybody isn't going to like you. Everybody isn't going to support you. Everybody isn't going to want to see you do good. And as Cat Williams said years ago, you got to be in tune with your star player. And I am the star of my life.
Yeah.
And I'm also my biggest fan.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I think that's something too. The older we get in life, that's something that for people like me, I didn't get to that place in my life until the last few years where I really could look at myself and finally say, you're somebody to love yourself for real. Right. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that I didn't love myself. I didn't really know how to truly love myself and to really look inside and say, love you for who you are and the authentic person that you are, no matter who comes or leaves, right? Because I've went through weird losses with family, you know, family members, my parents
Mhm.
don't really talk to me. And so that was something for me always through my whole life that I've struggled with, really finding my own self-worth. But once you find it and really ground yourself in it, then you can move forward in life in a different sense of you don't need anybody else's validation anymore. You don't need outsiders' approval, which a lot of times, many years in the past, I did. I
Mhm.
wanted that validation from somebody because I never had it growing up. So I was always hoping to get it. But when you find your own validation and just really rest in your own truth and live your best life
Right.
for real, your energy comes off a lot different and people can see that. You know what I mean? And so um that's a good way to put it. Like living in your truth is really
Well, and
the only way to.
you'll find that it is easier to do a lot of other things when you walk in that space.
Mhm,
It's easy to support other people because you're not looking for them to
mhm.
run it back.
Yeah.
It'd be nice, but you're not looking for it. It's
Right,
easy
right.
to love. It's easy to date again. It's
Mhm.
I'm dating right now, which is a weird thing to even say, but not weird because of the situation. But it's
Right.
like I didn't think I would be,
Right.
I just said this earlier. I was like, I thought I would live out this amazing Playboy life and be absolutely fine with that. But oh,
Life happens.
it does.
Listen, I
Yeah.
say it all the time. I'm 9 years removed from a serious
Mhm.
relationship. And I never, ever, ever in my life thought I'd be 9 years single as a grown
Yeah.
ass adult. You know what I'm
Yeah, I get
saying?
that.
But at the same time, it's one of those things. Um, and we'll hit on this real quick and then we'll get up out of here. But um, now that I've been alone this long, now I find it even harder to bring somebody into my space.
Well,
And part of that is my stubbornness, and I'll take accountability for that. But there is just certain things in life that you don't have to deal with
right.
when you're happy with yourself. And I'm just not willing, like I said to them earlier, I'm not willing to just settle to have a person, business, friendship, relationships, or family in my life.
Right.
Like, if it doesn't bring me more peace than I already have, then like I'm just good with it. I don't, the older you get, the less you want that negative energy. I
Mhm.
want all positive minded people.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
gotta
don't
be
need somebody to
positive
be
vibes.
coddling me,
Yeah.
but I need positive mentality,
Yeah.
forward moving, forward, growth. And that's the type of people I want around me. Um, which brings us to this. We'll get out of here. An hour and a half is longer. I used to do 90 minutes though.
Yeah.
I did. They know.
Yes.
But this is one of the reasons that having you now around us and CMV has been for me inspirational, because
Sure.
you're just a person that continues to go, now I got somebody around the team that's closer to my age, so I don't got to be the old ass person in the group. You know what I'm saying? But you're inspirational, and I love to see your journey
I
continue to
appreciate
grow.
that. Thank you.
You've always been a positive person every time I've been around you. The team that you keep around you, I know Denisha, she's one of the sweetest people ever. So you just keep good people around you.
Yeah.
And
I
so
mean, yeah, you should. As you should. Yeah.
it's a positive thing to watch.
Yeah, Donisha, where you at?
Yeah, where you at, girl? But you're inspiration, and I think that in your work, I think you touch a lot of people. I think you motivate a lot of people, maybe even more so than you realize. Sometimes we don't see the work that we're
It's
doing,
very
but
true.
it's happening. So you're out here, you're doing big things, and I'm
Appreciate that. Thank
happy to
you.
know you and really get to kind of watch you in another um frame of mind, right? I get to see what you're really doing and kind of learn as I'm trying to, be in the space and understand what events even mean. That's a lot of
Sure.
work. It's hard work. But we appreciate you. What words of wisdom do you have to leave to the viewers tonight? Because I always let my guests close out with their words of wisdom. So what do you want to leave for the viewers tonight?
Be consistent.
Yes,
Be
it's
consistent.
my favorite word.
Even when what is in your mind seems stupid, just do it anyway and be consistent. Because the one thing is for sure is God honors hard work,
Mhm.
and He sees your labors and will, eventually bless you. He wants to see your consistency in what you're doing. So your
Absolutely.
labor is not in vain,
Even when it feels like it.
even when it feels like
And
it.
there's and the moments come, but consistency is something that I've said since I started the show. I didn't know where it was going to go, but what I've said is I'll be here every week until I ain't, and however long that is, I'll be consistent until something changes and we pivot and turn, or I'm sitting, on the view table,
Hey.
having interviews with my girls up there in New York.
Every day that I do this, I literally feel like, does this matter? Am I making a, but
Mhm.
just listening to you give the validation
Mhm.
that what you do, we appreciate.
It
And
is.
that means a lot because sometimes the people around you don't say it because they're
Mhm.
like, we already know that.
Yeah.
But it's like, no.
But sometimes you don't. I mean, sometimes
Yeah.
it is just nice to hear it. And
Yeah.
and listen, people are paying attention. Your name is bigger than probably you realize. I mean, you got
Mm.
a whole brand out here now. You got the
Mm.
Genesis brand. Listen, when you could take your name and brand it, bro,
Hey, man.
that's you know what I'm saying? That's big Leo energy type
It
shit.
is.
You know
It
what I'm
is.
saying?
It is. Yeah.
But continue doing what you're
Thank
doing. I mean, definitely the homie, you can come here anytime.
Appreciate
We'll
that.
definitely be seeing more of you. Hopefully some CMV Genesis collabs coming up, you
Oh,
guys.
we
So
got
keep
it.
your eyes
We in
peeled
there.
for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I appreciate you, sir, traveling across the highway.
Thank you.
I don't take that lightly. It's not safe in these roads. So when anybody jumps on the highway to come sit on my couch, I appreciate it so much. And I just thank you for being here. I
Thank you
appreciate
for
you coming
having
to
me.
the show. And
Thank you.
y'all check us out. I will be back next week. I gotta look at my calendar, y'all. I've been so focused on the last 2 weeks, I ain't looked next week. So I don't know who I have next week, but I will be here. And whether it's just me or me and somebody else, tap in next week, 7:15 live, More Than a Pretty Face talk show. We out.
We out.
We out.